Well, here we are with a quick part 2 of Whose Math Is This? Because we have some news for you. Look what we've got here. As we loaded into the simulator today, we go into our career mode headquarters. We wait around a little bit for it to load with our fingers crossed and our hopes set pretty gosh darn high because we have been through a lot to get to this point. However, 240,170 credits is doable for me considering I don't have the most expensive aircraft running in the background, but I am making a positive income on my passive income. Finally. Breaking down the math, it still is a little bit jacked up. We did pay some insurance bills for the aircraft, but since it's basic, it's fine. You can see that the 1229 has a gigantic yellow line for passive income compared to the previous days, and we are finally on our way. We jump into the all companies and we start to look at some more of the mathing. Which company is producing the profits, which company is producing less profits, and how is this going? So we take a look, we go into the overview and account history, and we kind of take a peek through at what is exactly going on here. We're looking for the passive income, specifically for just yesterday. You can see here that we now have a couple of entries. 78,690 credits on the 30th. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Even though it's the 29th. Come in. It's looking pretty good. Why it says the 30th when it's the 29th, I don't know. Maybe we're doing some more math on the calendars. But we're going to come in, take a look at the flight seeing operation and see how we did there. I did a lot of flying in this while earning income. And I don't know exactly what to take of this, but either way, I'm going to take the coin and just go to the bank with it because I'm all right with it. I did quite a bit of maintenance, refueling. I did a couple of transfers here and there, you know, all the way back. But it's coming along. It's coming along. We're starting to push in the right direction. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the other company, see what the search and rescue is doing. And this one reminds me of just all the surprises that we've had up to this point because this, to me, is relatively surprising. It seems to be making a really decent amount of money for passive income. As we scroll down the list here, we can see that transfer, mission reward. I wound up doing a lot of flights for search and rescue while I was in both freelance and employee mode. But now we're getting a passive income and it's not bad. 161,480 credits of passive income is certainly good enough for me. For now. So what I've done since then is I actually wound up transferring my search and rescue chopper one more time further down the western coast of the United States. And yesterday I was in the hole over $1 million, and within 24 hours I've recuperated over 700,000 credits to bring myself very close to that break-even mark. I am actually all right with this. So if I go into the mission set now, after I brought that chopper down the west coast of the US, I completed one mission that was right here over the water. And as this loads in, we're going to see what else, if anything, has generated in this area for search and rescue. One mission. Again, we're kind of on that search and rescue diet. I'm okay with it. We do have our cargo plane here in the center coming up due for maintenance pretty soon, which I'm finding isn't really that bad at this point. But the missions are relatively thin for it. but it does give me something to do while I'm in the freelancer mode. I also have the flight seeing chopper now sitting in Florida. This one's in great condition, I should say good condition. But again, with the flight seeing missions down here, there are a few being generated that are going to be accessible for little money to transfer. Things are actually turning around. What we did notice is that on this side of the planet, where we saw tons of missions for search and rescue yesterday, they're gone. They're gone. What I did yesterday, though, was I wound up coming into the end of her stream, and what I did at the end of the stream was actually a 737 mission. Now, generally, I've had quite a few issues with the 737 missions and how they end. However, last night was a little bit different. I actually wound up getting successful with that. Very, very impressed with that. It did take a very long time for that mission to come to an end, but it did pay out. And if you saw, I actually had 6 hours of flight time that were attributing to my passive income. Oddly enough, that 737 flight by itself was 6 hours, and yes, I did fly that mission without any skips or any issues except for how the mission ended. Didn't use sim rate increase, didn't use sim rate decrease or nothing like that. I just flew the 737, and then when I landed and it said success, it stayed on this little thumbnail here forever, with that spinning wheel of misfortune, stopping and restarting and stopping and restarting several different times. And I was quite concerned that it would come to an absolute failure, but much to my approval, it finally accepted it. Samurai goes and says, go along the northern coast of Africa. Saw tons of search and rescue hoist missions along the coast towards Cairo. Yes, I have seen those appear on several occasions as well. However, what we've heard from Microsoft and Asobo and the team is that these missions change daily, which I'm actually starting to see becoming a little bit more of a reality, because the mission that is always generated here up in Alaska was not available at all today, which is why I made the choice to move further down the coast of the U.S. in this general direction, just to kind of see what I could open up. And eventually, what I'd like to do is make the entire planet a hot zone. But in the meantime, I'm all right with it. Things are turning around. I have a great feeling that by tomorrow, our companies will be earning a solid profit and we won't have anything to worry about. Not a problem at all. So yesterday, what we were trying to do was trying to find out where we could actually change the hot zones of our specific companies. You can go into the My Companies and go into that specific company and choose a density area, and you can actually change the densities right here. So now if you go back in, you may actually see a difference in the mission sets that are being completed. It has been the most consistent place for me, more in Europe. So I've been seeing all of my missions generated here just above, I believe this is like Spain and just over Italy and in the mountains and things like that. This is where my search and rescue missions have been mostly populated over the time. But what I'd like to do is kind of dabble a little bit more with changing the seasons. And you can see that even though I did change the seasons of the density area for search and rescue, the missions don't move. However, I think if I were to leave that density option changed, leave, and come back tomorrow, I may have a different set of missions available. Not really too sure what to expect with that. The big question in my mind remains, now that I've actually gotten a little bit of conflicting information, where do we earn the most passive income? Is it while we're doing freelancer trips, or is it while we're doing employee trips? Can you even earn a passive income on employee trips? So what I've done today so far is, since getting my passive income, I have only done one search and rescue mission in my own company chopper, and I spent about 40 minutes doing it. And that is all I'm going to do with it, and I'm going to come back and see what happens tomorrow. If it says that I had a flight time of 40 minutes, then yep, I'm earning passive income while as a freelancer. Then what I'm going to do is just do one search and rescue mission as an employee, and then let it sit for 24 hours and see what the difference is, so I can actually test these myself. Today is just going to be a quick one as an update to what I would like to call as a successful mission in a 737, along with Whose Math Is This Part 2. It has been a blast. It has been a ball. We'll come back and update you again tomorrow to see whether or not we can finally make a determination on whether we're going to earn money more often as passive income as a freelancer, or if it's possible to do it as an employee. I will see you then. It's been a blast. It's been a ball. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all. And we will see you in the next one.